is the first image that I can see at 178 milliseconds before the shot fired that there's now forward motion from the car.
A video expert says the first movement of Sam DuBose's car happened a tenth of a second before former UC police officer Ray Tenzing shot him. Good evening, everyone. The DuBose family says the body camera video proves murder. Today, they watched the analysts break it down for the jury, frame by frame.
That came after they all watched what Ray Tenzing told homicide detectives 2 days after the shooting. Local 12's Deborah Dixon was in the courtroom as it all played out. Deb?
Yeah, hi, Rob. What they saw in that video with homicide was Ray Tenzing explaining how he got stuck in the car and the car dragged him away, and a headshot was what he did to save his life. Then that analyst showed jurors a very different video version of that day.
And he was rapidly accelerating.
Ray Tenzing tells homicide detective Sam DuBose sped off with his arm in the car after he reached in to take the key out of the ignition.
So the only shot I could see that I could take to stop the threat was a headshot.
So in your mind at that time, if you didn't react, you could be killed?
I would either sat underneath his vehicle and run over and killed, or he would have gone along that guardrail and scraped me out the side of his vehicle and I would have been killed.
But the video analyst hired by the prosecution says that's not what Tenzing's body cam video shows when broken down frame by frame.
We have DuBose's with his left hand up above his head, right hand on the steering wheel.
This is less than 0.3 of a second before the shot being fired.
Correct.
Grant Frederick said DuBose's car doesn't move until a tenth of a second before he's shot, and then only a couple of feet.
At the time the shot was fired, the car had, in my opinion, was moving forward for about a second and a bit.
Tenzing's attorney pointed out, Frederick said he could hear Tenzing yelling, "Stop, stop."
Would one reason to yell "stop, stop" be because the car was in motion?
If he can answer it, I'll allow it. The objection's overruled.
That would certainly be one reason that it would make sense, yes.
The DuBose family saw one thing: murder.
This is a straight up execution to me. He held his seatbelt so that he couldn't move while he's doing this, and he shot him in the head. And he said he took the headshot on purpose. That's murder.
Of course, what really matters is what the jury sees. And we have to remind people that the jury has not heard the defense side of this case. Rob?
Deborah Dixon, thanks very much. As you just saw, the video expert on the stand slowed Ray Tenzing's body camera down to milliseconds. Criminal defense attorney Hal Ehrenstein is Local 12 legal analyst, helping us understand the trial. So what's your opinion today of the impact of this testimony and this breaking down of the video?
It harkens back to Joe's opening statement, in which he talked about Tenzing's statement to the police, and he kept using that dichotomy of he made this statement, that's false. He made that statement, that's false. And now we know where that was coming from. He had the opportunity to look at what the videographer had parsed down millisecond by millisecond, and now we know why the state made that opening argument.
So he said that the car was moving for maybe a second before the shooting happened. So is it perception or reality that's going to work on the jury's minds here?
Well, you never know, but you would think that it would be the reality of it. You have a machine which is telling the jury exactly how this whole thing played out, as opposed to the memory of an individual or the perceptions. This is the difficulty that you run into in eyewitness cases, because the mind does not take a camera shot of what's happening. There are so many factors that are taking place that as you're perceiving things, your ability to recollect them and your ability to talk about them are just not as accurate as you think they are.
And what do you think the direction will be tomorrow for the defense? That, what you just mentioned?
Well, I think tomorrow what's going to happen, as I understand it, is they're going to bring a use of force expert in. And I don't know that the defense is going to be able to chip away at that. What's going to be interesting in this case is obviously they have a videographer as well who's got a different take on what occurred here. But it's going to be very difficult, because when you look at the background and the way this guy broke this down, and looking at the SUV and the wall there and making it very clear throughout the process this car was not moving the way Tenzing said it was moving, Now you know why the prosecution feels confident in what they're doing.
Yeah, Mal, thanks very much. Tonight at 11 o'clock, Anjanette Levy will take a closer look at why Tenzing says he drew his weapon. You can watch that testimony streaming live on local12.com. And to see all of our reports in one place, go to the news tab on our website and click on the Tenzing trial. Hal, we'll talk again.